Okay. I'm just gonna put my shoes over here. And turn that down. So when it's on random. Is it work? Okay. Let's go to the game. Alright. Alright, everyone. What's happening, everybody? It's your boy, Hardcorn, and today we got something a little different. Something not that much different, though. I'm sure everybody's familiar with the good old Bloons Tower Defense 6. I didn't want to play some AT today because it's gonna be it's a bye week. Not a whole lot happening, a lot of rerun stuff, but either way, it's just not. We'll be saving our energy up and our time for when Grandma drops, and also when Ragnarok makes her appearance. So this week we're just hanging out with some Bloons Tower Defense 6, and don't be surprised if you see more of this in the future, because it's just nice, easy fun for when you want to relax. But how's everybody doing today? We've got ourselves here at least the temperature has changed enough to where the snow started to melt, and that's actually quite a relief. I mean, it's always nice to see snow around, but for the most part it's just like, it's enough. So let's see, I already did the dailies from yesterday. Let's see, 5 hours and 24 minutes. Yeah, I already did that one. I remember I got this game as a gift like a few years ago, and I didn't bother to play it. And they also gave me like double cash too, which is fun because it lets you know, like, just do whatever you want. So today we're going to be going to our monkeys. The most recent update to the game, I was actually like, I think just right before Christmas, so I haven't touched it in the last like couple weeks, except for like last 4 days. Tax Shooter now has its own, what is it called? They have their own Paragon now. This has been a long time coming, because Tax Shooter has been something that's been in the game for a long time, since I think the very beginning of the series. So finally it getting its own Paragon like makes a lot of sense. So we're going to be aiming to get that today, or at least trying it out to see what it does. We'll get it once, see how it turns out, and then see if we want to go try some like one of the bosses with it this week. Because I think this week is not oh, it's Dreadbloon. Oh, it's Lich. Dreadbloon's different. Let's see. Drains buffs, healing itself, resurrection. Okay, so you have to do it. Doesn't spawn children. So we'd have to do that in the future. But let's try it out to see if what we get with the Paragon itself. But in other news, let's see. Where's a good place to go, like go get a attack Paragon or something? I know. We need to unlock it one time. So let's just go do it on good old standard hard. But obviously there's big news in the games this week. Oh no, we need to get some money makers. Big news in games, because guess what, everybody? They have finally announced themselves the Switch 2. I remember when the Switch came out, I was like still in school, and I was not exactly impressed with it. And even to this day, I'm still not that impressed. I don't have one. I don't plan on getting one either. I'm glad though that they have actually put the idea of performance behind it, because it certainly does. It really does need those little performance boosts, because it's like in handheld mode, it's one thing. And it's running those like old ass ports or something, and then you have like, what is it? There's a nice picture floating around that has that shows, what's it called? The comparison of Nintendo consoles over time in terms of GameCube power. So whatever that means. It's not exactly my most favorite way when it came out. It's not the best way to compare it, but it actually makes a lot of sense. So I remember it being something like, you have... We could actually put 2 here, because we'll need to put it up for primary setup. Actually, no, I need to slow the game down. because I'm not good at this. They compared the power of a GameCube to like various types of consoles that are released after it, and like in the bottom of the picture it shows like how powerful was the Wii was the next console that came out after the GameCube, and if you guys didn't know, the GameCube, the Wii is just a roided up GameCube, and it's almost exactly the same amount of power. They just increased the storage because they wanted to combat piracy and save money, so they made those mini discs for the GameCube, which is a really shitty decision. And then they gave it full-size DVDs for the Wii, and obviously we all know how the Wii turned out. It saved them. It changed their lives completely.
Let's see what we can do here.
But then it shows later on that the GameCube has like, oh my god, it's like 150 GameCubes in portable mode, and then in docked mode it's like 300 GameCubes. What a very apt comparison. I don't exactly understand what it means, but I guess it works for them. Will you guys be picking up the Switch 2? Because I don't know, they're going with like the literal concept of like the Switch 2. They haven't done anything like a sequel naming scheme like Sony does. I don't think they've ever done that. They're just calling it directly like the damn Switch 2. I'm like, all right, that's pretty ballsy. It's not like the Wii U. Even though the Wii U is at least like 10 times as powerful as the Wii, or at least some sort of amount that was like, it was stronger. But it was like, that was such a bad naming scheme. But I guess they're trying it again. But since the Switch is now like what, the highest selling console ever, like right there next to the PlayStation 2, I think they've got the gusto and the balls behind them to literally go, yeah, we're just gonna call it the Switch 2. We're gonna barely change anything about it and just make it into something like this absolute monster now. You were in high school when the Switch came out and you got one in 2020. I mean, I thought about getting a Switch at some point, but it's like I barely ever play any portable consoles in the first place. And even then, like, when the Steam Deck came out, it was obviously like, oh, dude, that's Steam's answer to the Switch. It's going to be so great. It's going to be so good. And it is. It's a good device. I've gotten to play on it, and, like, my friends have it, and it's like, it's a solid thing to have. Because you can obviously do the funny emulation with the Steam Deck, but even then, it's like I still can't justify the price tag of that to myself. If I can't stream from my Steam Deck or anything like that, or use my computer to fullest potential, well, I don't know. Playing a game like Bloons Tower Defense isn't really using the fullest potential out of it. But even then, it's like I want to use I don't want any hang-ups, I don't want any slowdowns, and I want all the stuff that's on the same thing with like my computer. Because I've got all the setup here, I don't want to be bored to death with the setup. I don't want to mess around with that, to say the least. Oh, we've already fucked up. Wait a minute, you got it? Okay, we got a leakage, so we have to fix that now. Alright, center is going to be tack zone, so more tack. Faster pooping. And then this is gonna be hot shits. That's good. Now we need to buy jungle drums. Because, let's see, 28, no, we already have this, so it's fine. You know, it's hard to think about that 2020 now is also 5 years ago. Can you believe it? 5 whole years ago. What were you guys doing 5 years ago? Because my life was certainly a lot different than all the time ago. And even then, I'm sure it's like everybody has their own funny COVID story, or whether they got it or life changed for them in some sort of way. It certainly changed me for the better because I moved out at that time and I went out on my own. Helps you learn a lot about yourself. But the first game you got on there for Switch is Super 3D All Stars. Oh, that's the one that has the that's the limited time 3D game that they put out, and it's like, oh man, wouldn't have that been great to have wouldn't that have been great to have out there and to be like a permanent item in the store? Because I think there would be many people out there who would have really appreciated to finally have all right, now I can have 64 Sunshine and Galaxy all in the same place. Because honestly, I've never been much of a Mario guy in the first place, because Mario games were always expensive and never in stock when I was a kid, so I never got to play them. Like, I'd play them a couple at my cousin's house, but it's like, even then, it's like I didn't like them as much. I was much more into, well, obviously, it's very obvious, but like I'm much more into Sonic's speed than anything else. That's what really gets me. He's like, oh dude, he's blue, he's cool, he's fast. That's my man right there. Let's use this guy. We need him as close as possible for this. Okay. What is that stimulants on that one? Because honestly, I think I don't think I've ever played Mario 64. That's one of those games where it's like, what is it? It's a type of game where you have to grow up with it to really appreciate it. And it's like, I didn't. So I think, no, I did. I played it one time, I think 3 years ago. Like, I downloaded like Project 64, got my copy, got the whatever copy of it is for that. I started it up, I played around for I think like 10 minutes, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is not my thing. Like, I'm more excited for when Sonic releases something rather than Mario. Even though I certainly appreciate what he does. He's pretty cool. He's got a plumbing degree. He's a tradesman who really knows how to work hard. But I'm like, nah, it ain't mine. It ain't for me. I'm just very surprised that people just go like defend to the death, like Mario and stuff like that. It's like they're talking down. Like, you can't really say anything negative about like Nintendo products. It's like you're talking down at like it's like, you're making fun of my dad right there, dude. Like, what are you doing? I gotta stand up for what's right with my family. It's like, it's not even your family, dude. It's fucking Mario. Okay, we got stability. We're gonna put some make some cash. Because what is the upgrade system? I want the loans and I want production. You played the original on the 64, and then and as an adult you played it on the Switch. I wonder how much it changed in the first place, because I had a 64 briefly when I was a child, and I was like, I wasn't that impressed with it. Because it's like, when I was growing up, I had the GameCube. GameCube is pretty fun. It has some of my favorite titles in there. But for the most part, it's like, I was just fine with what I had. It was, it did what I needed to do. And then I have the Wii. I still have the Wii. I'm really glad I do, too. Because it's like, it's the better way to play a lot of GameCube games. But I don't have a GameCube controller anymore. You know, I honestly haven't touched my Wii in I haven't touched my Wii in like years and years from now. Because be honest, guys, when was the last time you guys thought about like, oh, I'm going to play the Wii. I'm going to go sit down and play some Wii. That sounds like a good idea. Berserker Brew. Makes it last longer. Okay. What's the range on that? Will that make it?
Level up.
That won't do it. Because for the most part, I think I actually stopped playing on consoles altogether within the last 5 years. Because I've honestly just like, all right, that's it for me. I think like I played on my well, I have my PlayStation 4. That's like the last console I ever bought. I didn't even know you could actually like was like reverse compatible with a PS5 can play PS4 games. I thought like I never knew that because like I never researched that much into it in the first place. But then it surprised me when that happened. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm probably never going to play that because I can't think of a single PS5 game I've wanted to say, yeah, I want to buy that. I want to try that out and play it myself. Because over the last 10 years, everything that's come to like, you know, a console in any capacity, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, that they all end up coming to PC, and then it's like I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can just play it the way I want to play it, and also I have like the resources to make it run correctly, and it doesn't get hung up on something.
Guys, handled it.
23K. Get a stronger stimulant. 24K. Let's put that back into IMFs. Because I need one more so I can go get Paragons. We're also going to need more firepower because they're pushing those back. Handle it. No, it won't get buffs from that, but as long as it has buffs from those, I'm okay with that. Crucible of Steel and Flame. Dude, Soup, you're the one out there who bought all those fucking secret layers. Like, dude, I'm gonna spend $130 on secret layer cards and hold like I've got constipation. 29 to 15.
Guys, handled it.
Yeah, I need attack zones volume after this one.
Handled it. Get ready.
Where's your bank hack, Benjamin? We gotta get some more money.
Handled it.
I don't know, it's just been weird for the most part with like Magic the Gathering now. It's like, alright, now that they're the biggest thing ever. They've been big for years, but now it's like we're gonna now catch the eye of, alright, you wanna collaborate with us? Now you're gonna have like your characters permanently emblazoned as cards. They're either, and it's not even like, oh, these cards are like meme cards or anything like that. They're fucking good, which is like, just turns it on its head for the most part. Oh, we want the Fortnite audience. Oh, I love Fortnite. We love Fortnite. We love Fortnite.
Guys.
My income's not very good. I don't remember what the button command for getting all the farms out is. Because I know there's like a better way to do this with like manually babying these farms or using the banana farmer setup. I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's fucking boring. I like the bank.
Guys, get ready. Get ready.
Yeah, here's the thing about Fortnite. Because obviously they just had their Hatsune Miku and, what do you call it? They have their Miku and Godzilla they just got in the game recently, which is great. That's fun and all that sort of thing. But it's like, the wow factor is gone with a character getting in Fortnite because it almost feels like since Fortnite's now hit critical mass, we expect it to happen. So now the question remains is like, okay, so now that we know that those things are going to be happening more often, I imagine it's like Fortnite is now going to be entering its twilight years within the next couple of years, because it's like it's hit critical mass. It will maintain life. Like it's effectively just like the modern day TF2 at this point, because there's so much stuff that happens inside of it that it's like they have events, they have celebrity promotions inside it, they have like real and IRL and other stuff in there too. So it's like, so that just raises the question, what are they going to do about that? Because are they just going to release Fortnite 2? Because they really need to maintain their like is it more or less an identity thing.
Handled it. Get ready.
Dude, Draven, I love BTD6. About every Christmas, I come back and play it because it always holds a special place in my heart. Because here's a great BT Dix story. Every year since this game has come out, my dad would have time off from work for like the last, I think, 2 or 3 weeks of the year, because that's when he'd use all his PTO just to go hang out at Christmas. So we would go play. So he always likes these type of games, tower defense and stuff like that, because it's nice and simple. Anybody can enjoy it. So we would go play this. We would go play it, me, my sister, my dad. We'd all take turns and just mess around with Bloons tower defense, because it's just easy and fun. We have really good times with it. You learn how to strategize, and your dad teaches us how to play it efficiently. And then we teach him later on, as we got a little older, how to play it even better. So it was always a really, really good time.
Level up.
Like every once in a while, I'll come back and play this, like, you know, during the summer or when an update comes out. But I always like to really go hard on it during Christmas.
Handled it.
It's just really special for me that way. Yeah, you get that nice ASMR of me eating. I think I'm getting sick or something like that, because like I've been sleeping like shit, because I have to also wake up early. I have to wake up and then go to my friend's house and then go feed their cats while they're out of town. I have to do that tomorrow too before I go to work. $71K. It goes up. One furry. I could probably do one Muckonomics, be fine. We're pushing them back still. If anything, we could probably get primary expertise just to finish it out. But I still need to start saving up money. Oh, we need to get Super Maelstrom 216, and then we'll start building from there. Because we'll need to start putting more Rings of Fire down so I can upgrade the Paragon power. Who's my favorite hero? My favorite hero is Sauda because I'm a fucking casual. I love Sauda because she's just so much fun. She's like, she was part of the team that I made, the Black Border Resort. It's obviously, Resort's one of the easiest maps in the game, but I love Resort because it's like, it has so many, it has 3 switchbacks, and it has a central position where you just place like a tack shooter down. Like you can do Maelstrom or Sauda, put that position right there, get your booster buddy, the Alchemist, and then you can just glide straight through to round 100 on chimps. It's really, really fun. And then we have it's like Sauda because she's funny. It's like she's so strong and she's so fast. Let's see.
Handled it. Guys.
We don't have anything that can handle DDTs. At least not yet. I need to account for that. Where is it? Come on. There we go. 2 sets of jungle drums. All right.
Handled it.
Adora is really good. I like her too. Today we're obviously using Benjamin because we want to make some serious. We want to make some serious cash. We're just strictly using the monkey, the monkey, the monkeys. The monkey banks. Because we're obviously, like, if we were really doing, like, meta strategies, I'd be doing this, like, back and forth of selling stuff and then using, like, banana plantations and higher to make, what are they called? Banana research facilities. I mean, it's obviously the play, but it's like, I don't want to bother with that. Because I want to get myself Crucible and Steel and Flame. That's what we're aiming for. Because I want to see what that turns out to be. Because obviously you can't even touch that sort of stuff in Sandbox unless you've actually gotten it one time. That's pretty good. We're still able to push him back because, what is it? Inferno Ring just instantly incinerates ceramics for the most part. I think it probably has something like 40 pierce innately. So it just like annihilates whatever gets in its way. Okay. Let's upgrade to permanent brew. That sounds like a better idea.
Get ready.
Oh, that's right. When you put primary mentoring on, like, no, when you get primary expertise, it just makes all your tack shooters do like double damage. So I remember one time I got like, I wanted to see how many, like, just do like some chimps practice or something, see if I can actually make anything. There's like use no, not chimps practice, because with chimps I typically like to use attack zone. Because I wanted to see like, alright, how far can I take the Inferno Ring? Because if you just get primary expertise on this, it takes like its pierce and damage to like such an astronomically high levels. It is like, it just annihilates whatever gets in its way.
Guys?
That's good. If we're able to like insta-pop a DDT, that's fine with me.
Handled it. Get ready. Handled it. Guys? Get ready. Insight. You might want to take a look at this. Get ready.
I just maxed out. Okay, that pushes 95 straight back like that. That's good. Because I think I've only ever hit like round 200 using Navark of the Seas. Because there's some Paragons that I just haven't ever gotten for the most part because they're so insanely expensive. Like I've never gotten Goliath Doomship because that's actually, you need to have a good money routing, because if you don't, you're just never going to afford it. Because it's 900k innately and you still have to like increase its power.
You might want to take a look at this.
Alright.
Guys? Handled it. Guys? Handled it. Guys? Good night, Vienna. Past month. Insight. Handled it.
Great, we finally made it to round 100. That means I need to do some finagling around. Like, I don't expect this to get to really high Paragon power. Because typically what you're supposed to do to make nice high level Paragons, because it's based on, you need obviously tier 5s, money invested across all the units that it's going to be absorbing of the same type. Pops play a really big role for it. Like, to get the maximum value out of it, you need like 2 million across all your units, and I only have like that much. It's not even close. Because I also want them to be useful to some extent when they when I finally put them down like this, I can still use them for the most part. They don't do that much, but it'll certainly make a bit of a difference. What's the range on this? Oh, it's pretty far. Anything that had that kind of coverage. I didn't want to do that. Actually, what costs more? Oh, so actually increasing their range would cost more, which would be better for its investment. But I'll still do that anyways. Though I think when you use it like in the free setting, it also means it doesn't get any boosts. So it's only the top row that's doing anything. It misses out on that extra $200 something. No, it's extra $240 across all the ones I put down. Which is kind of poopy. Kind of poopy. Because now's the part where like, I gotta get sweaty and optimize. Like, okay, I gotta do some math in my head. My it's like you're playing an RTS or something. My economy has dwindled. I have to check what's going on. Can you believe it's terrible stuff? I love Benjamin. He's just he always is saying like the hacker quotes. That's also a movie you guys should go watch. Is Hackers from 1994. That is a great movie. It's pretty corny, but it's still really cool. But it's like you're always saying stuff like that. It's like, oh, look at that. All right, guys, I'm in, everybody.
Smart, and there's me smart.
125. I'm gonna have to use my IMF loans for this. It's 248. I get a bit of a power increase. It's probably gonna put me at like 30 or 40. I'll probably go a few more rounds and see what happens. Who's that? I mean, it's not like the hardest game to understand for the most part. It's just like what is it? It has accessibility at every single level. If you want to get as sweaty as possible, they have modes specifically made for that and optimizing the crap out of what you want to do. Which I like that. I like it when a game rewards you for being if you want to take it seriously, it takes you seriously. If you don't want to take it seriously, you don't have to worry about it. That's fine. which is one of my favorite things about these sort of titles. It's like Kingdom Hearts. It is a massive like autism festival of a game, and it's because it's a designed for people who are not. It's their first time probably playing an action RPG or any kind of like action game in a sense. So it understands that about the player, and it like eases you into that sort of thing. Bloons does that really well too. And then it's like, you know, you'll be able to get through the game just fine just being a regular old dummy. It's the same thing with Bloons too. And then you get over to like the end game level stuff where you're at high level or high ranks or something. And then it's like, all right, I'm fighting bosses. I'm trying to get optimal chimps runs or something. I'm trying to be like ESAB or something where I get to do like crazy modded playthroughs or just trying to do these like insane runs or whatever in like a gimped fashion to show off to get like the most out of the game. And they accept that play style. They like you can do that as much as you want, and it's okay. Could probably go one more time. I don't know if I'm pushing or not because they started getting around the bend. I don't know. I don't know. We're doing this so we could get it in the first place. Yeah, I probably would have had more money if I just went straight up into Banana Research Facility.
Handled it.
Yeah, DDTs are starting to get around the curve. We'll just go for it. $62, not bad. That looks cool though. So it has like a sun form in that. Well, now I also have no money. Oh, I probably should have done that, but oh well. Now I can get back my tier 5s.
Get ready. Add money. Inside.
Good lord, it just vaporizes them like from second one. All right, there we go. That's good. It can't pop DDTs. That sucks. That really does. $800. Oh, that sucks. It can't pop DDTs natively. Well, that's also because it's also no longer a primary tower, so it doesn't get any benefits from this. It also doesn't get any MIB bonuses either. That sucks. At least I got it though. 62, that's not bad though. At least with like that level of cash I put into it, even with the discounted features from Monkey Village. We didn't even get to use its skills. All right, now let's go back to let's do it in sandbox mode. Because I want to try that out. Ugh. Oh, I didn't need to do that. Where's my buttons at? Alright, I want to go up to 4 on each one of these. What is the button combo to R? It is. Is it always the same way where Paragons actually? No, they don't get any bonuses from stuff like auras. They 'cause I don't think no Navok or the Seas can actually detect camo. I think innately, or no, it retains the ability from the other passive. No, that other tier 3 no, it's like the third tree passive for subs, because they have that in there. So as long as you have something that has camo detection, it's able to do that. Because obviously it was in the range of my monkey village with Mibs. So it's like, all right, well, I don't understand why it didn't do it, but no, I know why, because it doesn't have innate camo detection, and it doesn't matter whether or not it happened. So I want to try this against some big mama jammas. Sadly, the run was cut short. Well, it wasn't not necessarily cut short. I wanted to get it. I got it, and I'm glad I did when that happened. Because they're fortified DDTs. They're not designed to be your friend. Something I still don't understand though is like, how do super ceramics work? I understand they're like a past round 80 set creation to minimize lag on the game because of like how many children each one of those ceramics will create. Oh no, it doesn't create. It's not like what it doesn't create two. It just creates a very strong one. No wait, ceramics. What is it? They create 4 rainbows inside, and at that point they make it so that it only creates like 2 or something. No, I don't want to set a new cache value. I made a mistake and did that. Because something I've enjoyed about how they have improved Bloons over time is that when they finally got a dedicated desktop program to run the game, and you didn't have to do it in Flash anymore, that was like the biggest thing in the world for me. Because it's like I can finally now use the computer's processing power and not do it through a browser, and it takes like 15 minutes to go through like one of these maps on higher rounds or something. Because I remember I was at my aunt's house. I was playing BTD4, and I think I was like round 79 or 80. And at that point, it's like, you know, the game is like slowing down to a crawl. It's like, and obviously when you're playing on like this like cheapo crapo, whatever you might call it, machine that they had there, it was always like, it was rough to sit there and play, because it would just take like one, you have to baby it. You can't really even baby it either, because the game is like slowing down so much, you'll drop inputs or something will happen, and it's like, it's not worth doing, because it's like, oh man, the balloons are leaking, my defense is faltered. It's like, well, what can you do about that? You can't do a whole lot about it, because you're just kind of fucked on it. Because the game is running at like 2 FPS. It was like, at some points it was like literal slideshows, like when you bust up a Moab and they break into their ceramics, and you break said ceramics, and obviously they make like more and more children each time. Like, you might as well just have quit the game at that point, because like there's no way you're gonna be able to get through there. Like I don't think I ever started experiencing lag in this game until like nearly 200, when particle effects start getting like absolutely insane, and they start having so many balloons on the screen at once. But even then, even at the point where I get to like it's finally starting to lag, it's like the game is still moving at a reasonable pace. That it's like you could still complete the round within minutes. I imagine they well, since Ninja Kiwi themselves has spent so many years working on this dang thing, it's like, you know, they're Australia's greatest treasure, I guess. It makes me wonder, just like, Ninja Kiwi is obviously like a bigger publisher now because they have Bloons, and that brings in such an ungodly high amount of revenue for them. So it's like, what do they do to I wonder if they like fund other games. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's got to be something that like they have funded and we just never knew it. Like, they have like the parent company that manages all the stuff, and they have like subsidiaries. Because I think they have, like, you go to their website and you can see some of their other projects. All right. We need some Bloons. Wow, that's a 2,000 damage. Oh, that's right. None of them can see that. That's right. That's why you get Etienne, because he can because even after you turn them into a paragon, they still can't see. So you have to give them that. Damn it. I wish I could change my heroes because I just set all these down. Shit. Oh well, we can do this though. Oh, fortified. It just changes to fortified. No, spacing 0, count 50. There we go. It's a spacing of 10 then. Well, I mean, it's not like they can't do it. Oh, cool. Camo ceramics. Oh, I wish I had Etienne on there. That would be making a big difference in my life. Because I can't exactly give... I can't give that to other people. Let's sell that. It's in the large category. Oh no, I put 50 bads together. That's not good. Oh my Jesus, Peter, they're winning. Oh my science, they're actually pushing him back. They're pushing back all 100 bads. I mean, we only lost 1,000 lives. Amazing. Legitimately incredible stuff. Let's go get our buddy over here, Mr. Al the chemist. Sell that. Because I want to put them up there, some more pops behind them. Man, they're really tearing them up now. How about a 5-count fortified bad? Oh my god, Lois, get in here. They're fucking kicking its ass. Holy shit. I guess that's what it takes. Alright, let's live out the dream. They now have 2 million. That's good. So the maximum amount you could put is 680,000. That was only up to 74. Damn. Is it supposed to do that? Is it supposed to keep shooting like that? Now I want to see what it does against one single fortified bad. What is it, like 2,000 pops a second? It just shreds up everything in there. No, it can hit DDTs. It's just really slow at doing it. Oh no, it's not actually that hitting it in the first place, it's the monkey village. Because it can see camo, the tack shooter can't. Boy, that sucks. Makes you wonder, is there an inherent answer to make it so that like they can see camo? I don't know. It just feels like kind of, it's like, no, there's probably some way that I don't remember how to make them see or something like that. So it increases its range with the sun, and then it can drop a nuke on whatever it is. So it's like the monkey sub in that situation. Does this ever stop though? I imagine this just like tanks frames real fucking hard. I don't drop any frames, but it's like more or less to say it's like, wow. All right, let's go back. I want to try that with Etienne this time, because that certainly is a bummer. Now my quest is like, I want to find out, how am I supposed to make this guy see? How can they not see? You spend that much money and you still can't see. What is this? What is that? How can you not see? Alright, now we gotta try it again. We gotta try again because apparently we just don't know what the hell we're supposed to be doing. See, now I wonder, how are you supposed to solve that normally? Hello there, Jeff. We're playing some Bloons. Because we unlocked Tac Paragon I unlocked Tac Paragon. And now we wanted to try it out, and we lost the round because it doesn't have camo detection. So I want to find out just how much does it take to give it actual camo detection in the first place. What does it need? Because obviously you give it a monkey village, and then you give it the radar scanner, and it sure as hell didn't do that. Which makes me question. It's like, what am I missing? What are we missing? Because I think like when people want to get these up to like Paragon 99, they use Geraldo's little totem buddies. Those always do a good job. It's like it's the Paragon Power Totem or something. Yeah, those. Those are like the absolute nuts thing to just upgrade your Paragons easily. But I think each one of them gives like 2 apiece, which certainly does save a lot of money and time. Because what is it? I think they're like inherently, like in order to like boost up, you can't boost up so far with just money by itself. It's capped. You still gotta put in the elbow grease of getting the pops in and doing all the damage required. But what is it? I think with the well, what's it called? Because Dart Monkey Paragon obviously has the ability to what's it called? To see camo with its bottom, with the bottom row, which is obviously extremely important. Which is probably why it's able to go so far into rounds, or at least do a pretty decent job, is because it can see camo innately. Because right now I just want to check if does Etienne does Etienne give camo detection to my Paragon? Because if he doesn't, it's like, okay, then I'll just do something else. Because while it is cool that finally, after years and years, the tack shooter finally gets its own Paragon, and it still can't see. Because after a certain point, when you get past like, you know, not even like round 100, it's like after a certain point in the game, it's like they only throw like camo lead stuff at you. It's like, what am I supposed to do about that? Like, you just hope and pray that your defense is good enough in the first place to where it don't matter. My placement could probably be better with this. I could probably get like another 10 or something to fit in there. But there's only so much it can do. So now here's something. For like the longest time, people have been like watching, Let's Plays and stuff like that, because everybody loves just hanging out with them boys and just like playing a game or something. For like a long time ago, it's like, have you guys ever heard of Game Center CX before? With Arano-san and his crew, where he plays various retro games and other titles where you get to see him rage at it. He's not necessarily like a rage type of guy. He does get angry at like the game or something. Because like he's played titles that it's like they're not fun, or they're just like tough in the first place. Because he has like, because he's like what is he? He's a Japanese comedian who does who has his funny bits and everything like that. He does for it. Nope, we don't need that. Wrong side. Let's put that where, because I want to put the tax zone here. Because Game Center CX is like, I think it's been running for the last like almost 20 years at this point. Because I remember hearing about it when I was on like 4chan in like 2010. And even then it had been running before that. Because they released, actually let's just do this, so I can make sure I do it every time. But Arano-san is a cool guy. He has fun little episodes of his TV show where he gets mad at games and tries to persevere against overwhelming odds. He's effectively like he's like the precursor to modern streaming, except he did it on his own TV show. Like he's on his own studio and everything like that. Because there are some things like in Japan that they do is like they more or less they pioneered the face cam. Like you ever watch like a Japanese game show or something? They have like the face cam portion. It's like they show in like the bottom right hand corner, like the couch or whatever it's happening there, and they show them like, oh my god, that was so funny, that was insane. Because like on US TV, like they will cut back to like the couch reacting or something like that, or what's going on. But no, they decided it's like something as simple as picture-in-picture really makes the difference. Because then you get to see the anticipation on everybody's face and everything like that. Because they do that pretty well over there. They've mastered the art of the picture-in-picture face cam. Because it certainly has brought dividends, and it's like by God, you go somewhere else, it's like it's either someone's running their debut of a VTubing channel, or it's like they're just like they're just like a flesh tuber streamer or something. Like it takes a lot of like it takes a solid personality, amazing friends, and substantial benefits to really just be like the faceless void that talks back to you. Because I certainly do that. I do fine for myself. That's also because I'm employed in other features. Because it certainly has been like, let us lead into VTubers with this. Because it's like we're over here. It's like, oh well, there's another overdrive. But for the most part, it's like it's not like I haven't thought about doing VTuber stuff before. That would be a fun thing to do, because I've always thought of like, well, we could do that. I could do that for streams, because it sounds like a fun idea to have a talking corncob tell you how to go play Action Taimanen. Obviously, I won't do that for the videos, because those are much more serious. It's like, dude, I'm hanging out with like, dude, this giant talking corncob was talking to me today about Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, what is going on? I cannot believe, what kind of life do I lead where a talking corncob will tell me about how to efficiently play Bloons tower defense or do really poorly at it. That sounds like a fun idea. Because obviously right now I cannot afford anything like getting it professionally rigged or something, because that would just be like way too much. And even then, I only stream like once a week. I don't get any fiscal. I wouldn't, because like it costs a lot to get that done. So I would just more or less like, do we get the PNG tuber done, and we'll just go from there. Well, I mean, that's how most people start, is like they get their PNG tuber or anything like that. But for the most part, it's not so much. It's like, well, whenever I see like people stream or something, I always wonder to myself, it's like, when they have the big fancy model that they probably spent about $1,000 on to get it rigged and designed, I feel like they're kind of putting the cart before the horse, because it's like, the biggest thing with streaming is to cultivate personality. You need to be like the person that people want to go to. You need to be their friend. Though that's if you're effectively going for like casual side streaming. Because if you're not like exactly like pro level or high level good at the game, you aren't selling the skill, you have to sell the personality. If you can do both, that's even more power to you. That's actually like, that's why some people are so successful in the first place. They can do both. But for most people, not everybody can be like, hot shot COD professional. They've got to be like an enjoyable person at the same time. That's why we get funny Scream Man to appear every once in a while. That's just something I've observed over like many years of doing this. Because I'm sure everybody's heard of Mr. Vinny Vinesauce. He's the Mr. Funny Man who barely ever puts his face on stream in any capacity, which is fine. That works for him. He's also been doing this for like 15 years. Because I remember when I started seeing him like promoting himself like back on like Justin. I think he had some Justin TV streams, but he also has like and then he did it on Twitch, and obviously the rest is history. But it's like, I remember watching some of those streams on like years ago, and it's like he really hasn't changed that much. Like, well, he's obviously gotten better as a performer, but it's like, even from back then, the stream itself for him, it's like he sells his personality. That's all he does. We're not setting the round. We need to click back. We need to click back here, please, Ninja Kiwi. You gotta sell the personality. That's about it. You gotta be the guy. I can't click on it. I'm kind of screwed. Okay. Because it's also, not to mention, you gotta sell yourself. You also have to, you can't forget this, you have to do like a lot of networking stuff. And honestly, that is the hardest part. It is so annoying to do that sometimes, because it's like, I can imagine why like PR firms exist for people. So like they do that themselves, or like they just buy views and try to get it from there. Because it's like, it took me a long time to, well, for one, it's like, to get where I'm at now, even at this level, like where we have all the AT content and everything like that, I had to talk to other people and put myself out there. And like starting from scratch again, I would probably do some things differently. In fact, I would do a lot of things differently. But the thing is, like, dude, there's just, it's, what is it? It's not even like a corner of the market situation. It's getting in there in the first place and being a person people want to watch. Like, I'm glad I'm here. I love all of you so much for supporting me through like this entire years I've done action timing and stuff in other games. But it's like, I can only imagine how it would be like, you're 17 years old. You love watching your favorite streamer over there on like Twitch or YouTube. They're playing COD, so you want to play COD. And they get all their stuff. They spend mom's credit card and go do all that sort of stuff and get the money. They get that in there, and then they have all this like fancy setup that's like cliched and done before. But they get all that stuff done, and then they wonder like, why am I not getting any traction? Nobody's wanting to see that. It's like, for one thing, it's just as much as like, you gotta have the triangle. It just comes back to that. You've got one side would be knowing people. One side is playing the game, playing the game at a certain level, and the other is the personality. You need all three to be like really high level successful. Granted, your triangle, most people's triangles are lopsided in some way, and you don't get all three sides until you get really, really big. Which is like, most people will never get all three sides. So that's why it's a good idea to focus on building up one side of as time goes on. Like we'll talk about our good buddy Bello D over there. He does a great job at selling his personality, because it's like, I mean, come on. Because like he does a great job at that. He everybody loves coming to his streams. He has a good time with it. He has a good time. They have a good time with him, and you have a good and vice versa. We'll say it that way. It's as simple as that. You sell it, and then you also communicate to other people as well. Man's always collab, and he's out there grinding hard. That's for sure. Bro works hard. But it's also good to remember that it's like what both of us have done in the past, and like as time has went on, we have both decided to like expand beyond our initial games we've done. In the fact that it's like, okay, it's like, because we know AT doesn't have everything that's like, it's not as active as like Genshin or Zenless or some other games like that, because there is effectively like nothing there. For AT, there's nothing there on some weeks. It's like, for the most part, if I really wanted to do it, I could probably get all that stuff done in an hour for the stream, and we could play a second game, which is what I've been trying to do for like the last couple of weeks. Like I put some Zenless content in there. I would like to put Limbus in there, but that's a game where it's like, I tried that. I love Limbus, I really do, and I would like to play it more. But I know that's not exactly a game people watch. People read about that. It's also the sort of thing. It's like you just there are channels specifically dedicated to doing like Mirror Dungeon hard, like specifically the one run through you do a week, and it's like that's fine. But it's like I keep that one to myself because it's a lot less active, and I don't get to talk about the game itself at that point or what's happening inside of it. Let's see, Mibs. Good. Yeah, I could probably get rid of these too. Sorry to get all meta with that. I just wanted to talk about that because that's something that's been on my mind for like a while lately. Because it's like, it's important to understand where it all comes from. And it's a lot of work. Well, it's like the quality to work ratio depends on also the skill set where it comes in. Because there's some stuff, I need to turn that back, turn it back. Because there's like other games I like playing, but I don't want to make stuff for it yet. Because like, something I've been thinking about doing is like once a month, I'd have a video that I come out with like a review of something or a game I like, because it's like it's not invasive to whatever kind of other content I have, and it's also like something I like doing. But it's also like what also takes me out of it is like, if you've ever had to edit a video before and then have to do it to a specific level of quality that you've been doing for such a long time, it's very annoying to do so. Like something like here's one. Every 2 months I have to go do a video. Well, not I have to. I do a video that about a new character that comes out. They usually last between 15 to 20 minutes. That takes like all day to do. Well, not so much all day to do, because there's like a lot of preliminary work I have to do for it. I need to get some information. I have to do all the information, like find out about the character, play them, and take a analysis from there, from all the information I've gathered from previous characters. And then it's like recording the footage isn't actually very hard. It's usually like 1 or 2 takes. Let's see. It's like 1 or 2 takes, and then it's done from there. And writing the script isn't hard either, because I usually have thoughts that I write when I'm at work. And then I take them home, and then I put them into the script. After that, I'll come in there and like... What the hardest part is finally editing it all down together, because there's like... I make mistakes during the recording session, and I have to make cuts to cut out silent parts or mistakes in there, and it takes like, and there's I think between like 400 to 500 cuts in some parts because I just wanted to reduce the delay on some audio, or I made a mistake or need to re-record something. So that's like where my most of the time is. It's like painstakingly going through that. And it's like, it also, sometimes when I hear it back again, I want to like trim it down because like I end up rambling or something like that, like I'm doing now. But it's a stream, you kind of expect that. Oh, I need to give them pops.
Heads up, tracking BAD. Hey.
Look at that, you could watch the frames dip right then and there. Like it's the sort of thing I hold myself up to because I like making them very clean, to say the least. Let's do a count of, well, let's turn that down. Count 20 spacing 2, I guess. Oh my god, there's fucking 40 of these things. Is that enough damage to do it? I don't think it is. Nah, I don't think our little buddies have enough damage to do that. How much is that? 914. But I like holding myself up to a certain standard so I can keep making good things. Because it's like sometimes when I'm out and about and I'll go watch like, you know, other videos or something. Because like one of my favorite things to do is go to like the go to like a Reddit page or like a Facebook group for people who want to promote their YouTube videos or their channels or something, because you do this with like the fighting game mentality of sometimes like at the highest level everybody starts doing the same thing, everybody does the same thing, they all have the same thoughts, you can predict those thoughts, and it creates a very insular situation where there's minimal growth because everybody also knows the answer to every situation. When you go down to the lowest level possible, like the base people, not the base people, but it's like the lowest, like the noob areas and stuff like that, and you go see what they do, they come up with strategies sometimes that you will never think of because it's like you're always so used to like the thinking at like the highest level, because you don't need to think anything else besides that because all the answers are within probably like say 10 characters, like not even 10, it's like 5 characters, and you only need to learn those 5. They'll like professional noobs will come in there and use stuff like characters you never thought of and strategies that probably would never work in a higher level situation, but if you learn from there, you can try them at a higher level, and then like because you have a elevated game sense, you can take that knowledge from that situation and apply it to there, and people would never predict it. It's typically why you see like when you see like a streamer will do something like how much is this gonna give me? 79, and it still doesn't give any. And like when you see a streamer do some sort of like a weird variety stream situation, like Germa's Dollhouse, or like whenever a VTuber does like, I'm gonna sing September, when Gigi Murrin sings September for fucking 8 hours, that's like, wow, that's a funny that's a funny, creative stream for the most part. Wow, I just crawled down a 10, 6. Holy doobie, look at that thing go.
C'est la guerre.
Damn, that was 74. That was like almost, that was what, 75,000 lives right there. Really tear shit up though. Alright. So not Etienne can do that. That kind of sucks though. Alright. Now you can go back to the main menu. But being creative is also one of the most important things you can do in this sort of industry. Not to mention just knowing people. Because like sometimes when let's go do resort. Let's do it just classic resort. Yep, ATN, that's fine. I don't know, for the most part I would like to try to do bigger and better things, but it also means that I have to do this more often. Because like when I first really started taking the streaming side of things seriously was when I was unemployed and looking for work. And I was like, I think I remember streaming like, I remember my longest stream I did during that time was like 6.5 hours, and we were playing not Bloons Tower Defense. It was Metal Gear Solid 5 because I wanted to finish the game. That was fun though. That was that was a really good time. It made me wish I would just like. It's like because I would like to do that more often, because sometimes like when I come home I'm like I don't want to do anything. I just want to go either play one of my games or just like go to sleep. Though things have changed in my job as of late, which has made me think about like, you know, since that has happened, it's like I think it's probably a good time. It's like I'm not as tired as anymore. Things have slowed down at work. And I was like, you know, maybe it's time to finally taking things a little bit more seriously on this side and get things set up. So we can go beyond just one day a week. Because usually on like, because like in the last few weeks I've tried streaming like 2 times a week or something. Like I'll put like Zenless or something because that game takes like a lot of time. The game eats up a lot of time, and it's like that's cool. That's a fun game. I like to stream it too because it's like it's really fun to play. But it's also like because like doing it 2 times. Like another thing I really don't like about having to stream on YouTube is that you need to make a like almost a unique thumbnail every time. Like, because when a video not a video, but when something finishes, like a stream finishes on YouTube, you need to make it turns into a video. You can watch the VOD is permanently saved on the website, which is why I like it better than doing it on Twitch. Because Twitch may have the user base, but I really don't like the what you have to do in terms of like, oh, he's not going to get a lot of penetration there, so I just put him here. Yeah, he gets a range boost later. Oh yeah. Since like you can save it as a VOD here, like the VOD gets saved onto YouTube as an actual video, and it makes it so much easier to access too. That's something I just like really enjoy about that. And it's like that's what really makes me want to go like, yeah, I don't need to go to Twitch or anything like that, because it's like because of that sort of thing, it exists. I need airburst, advanced intel. Okay. Oh, I remember. We get him. We should use my free monkey a little bit better. A bit weird, but it works. But it's like having to, like, oh man, it's like, well, great. I lost my idea because I was trying to strategize, like, what do I usually do on Resort? Oh yeah, I usually fill up the whole thing full of subs and you just, like, wait for the next, like, 20 rounds. Because I need to get, Etienne doesn't get, Team Camo lookout until, like, level 7, I think. It's a while. And I placed him late, so it doesn't have the ability to cover that much yet. But we'll be able to... no. We'll need to... Is this lead? No, it won't break through there yet. That's why we have those. Now I remember my sub setups. Okay. It's one of that sub commander. Okay. There we can auto start. Because sometimes I also get like, oh, fun ideas in my head about like, oh, we should totally stream this game. That sounds like a fun idea. And then it's like sometimes I go like sometimes it's like I'll get the idea in my head. It's like, whatever game we're gonna pick, and then it's like I gotta remember one thing about that. It's like, okay, how comfortable am I to actually go sit there and play the game at the same time, and to play the game at the same time and also talk about what's going on or make anecdotes. Because there are games that are really good for that, like this, where it's minimal interaction with the game and I can just constantly keep talking and doing stuff like that. And there's other games where it's like Zenless, where you have to concentrate a little bit, or it's more or less games that I'm not comfortable with, like completely, like I haven't mastered the mechanics or like have a good grip on what's going on, so I don't have to like sit there and focus really hard. That's probably why people play so many like RPGs in the first place, or like they have streamer bait games, because you can interact with what's going on in the game, and they're also slow paced enough where it doesn't actually matter too much about what's going on. And that makes a pretty big difference when you think about it. He needs triple guns and air bursts and AP darts.
Hey,
It's 8. It's level 8 then. Because a few months ago I was playing God Hand by myself, and I'm like, oh wow, this would be a great game to do it for. And then I realized I have to concentrate extremely hard in that game, and that's just to survive in the first place. And the one thing I don't like doing is like sitting here and just getting like extremely angry or like flying off the handle. While that does make for good content, that also gives me a headache, and it kind of makes me feel like a sellout. Like I will get angry, but I don't need to start screaming like I'm like getting shot in the back or something. It just doesn't feel very real. Not so much real. It's just I was like, that's annoying. It doesn't feel good to do that. Like, it hurts your throat. Attack overdrive. Uh-oh, they're pushing him back. The ceramics have finally arrived, which is like the first real threat to like low pierce, high volume builds like this. Airburst fucking kicks ass though, that's really good. Because typically I like to play a lot of action games in the first place, which makes it so it's like, you know, those are games where you need to be like solid enough at them to really like get through the entire game with minimal hang-ups. And also it's like for what is it? One, people are very critical about those type of games because apparently people are really critical about like Devil May Cry gameplay for some reason. I don't know why. Because maybe people are take it a little too seriously sometimes and make it their entire personality. So when you're bad at it, they get to really lay into you for it because you're just not as good as them for some reason. I don't know. That's what I see a lot. So it's like you need to get a little better because it's like it doesn't pay. It pays to be bad, but you need to be good enough to be bad. You need to be good at being bad. And to be good at being bad is to say you need to be a very, very strong entertainer to make a hard game where you're getting your ass handed to you every step of the way seem fun. Because that leads back to it again. That's where selling the personality comes in. Because when you get games that are like you're not playing Skyrim where everything's like extremely easy and just like bores people to death, and you need to put it on very hard so you can actually get a sort of challenge. It's like that's like you play Devil May Cry and it's like, all right, you need to focus and get a lot better because most of your time spent in those games will be getting your shit kicked in. That's the long and the short of it. I guess today is just meta commentary day. It's like, I don't know, it gets me in the... When you have to minimally interact with the game, it gets the juices flowing about thinking about things. Because for the most part right now, it's just sitting there and it's not so much this. It's like right now, I think I said this in the past, like I have recently had to buy a car because mine had a lot of trouble and I had to sell it, and now finances are hard. So I've got to find ways I've got to save money and do everything I can so that I can get back ahead and recover from this a little bit fiscally. Because certainly it does a number on you to say the least. That's also why I was more or less like, we got to get serious about this, because it's like. Because also at the same time, I would like to go back to school. Get something like career advancement stuff. Because that's what you use your Bloons Tower defense time. That's just strictly for blogging. But it's mostly like the thing. I don't know. I'm being too negative today. Well, let's think about something else. Can't think of anything I watched recently. Oh, that's right. I know. So as of late, I've been actually, let's pause. I'm gonna pause the game before I start that whole thing because that's Let's get a whole triad by itself. All right. So for the most part, it's like I've been watching a lot of series, but for the most part, I've been playing 2 games. One has been Kingdom Hearts 2 and Disco Elysium. We'll start off with Disco Elysium because it made more progress there. Disco itself, that game came out I think like 4 or 5 years ago at this point. And I thought it was honestly a mean game, to say the least, because it's like, oh, dude, it's all over on the place in the political spectrum. It is, but it's like, that's a game that's like you have to treat it like an adult. You have to be an adult about that sort of thing. Because that game itself is like, everything is like, everybody in that game is a caricature of like of something on the political spectrum, or something like, or anything like that. That immediately turns off a lot of people. And it's like, I can understand that. But actually, when you give the game a chance, it's much more than like, because everybody hears about the political side of things on it. What people don't actually talk about a lot is that it's a murder mystery. It's really, really fun actually. All the dialogue in it and all the characters are really, really cool. It actually feels like it's effectively a visual novel. It's like, but it's not like, you know, the typical one you think of where it's like you have like root dialogue choices and everything like that. Ooh, leveled up. Where they have dialogue choices. Like, there are dialogue choices obviously, but it's not like, you know, sit there, you watch a PNG bounce up and down, you have CGs and everything like that. You play it like an actual game. You have RPG stuff. There are RPG elements inside it that like you take certain builds and you'll get certain answers and routes depending on like what you've taken. It's honestly a really, really cool game because of that, and I like it. I like it a lot. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, because I had it like in my library, and I thought to myself, you know what? Why not? Why not give it a chance? Let's see where it goes. And it's honestly been like, I'd say it's pretty goated, to say the least. Is that what the kids call it? It's pretty goated with the sauce, or whatever it is. Either way, it's a cool game. It's very narrative driven, and it's like it's one of those type of games where it's like you will either like it or not like it from the very beginning, because it's nice and slow, and it's all about reading. And if you're not exactly in the mood to read, you're not going to get a lot out of it. And being myself, I was in the mood to read, and I've been reading and listening the entire time. It's a cool game, because you play as Mr. Harry Dubois. Well, you end up, I don't know. Harry himself is a raging drug addict and alcoholic, and he hears voices in his head. They're effectively like layers of his consciousness talking to him to help solve mysteries and everything like that. It's really, really cool because of it too. Like, if this was a game without if they didn't have the supernatural element of you talking with the dead and communicating with, like, talking to yourself and your consciousness like an actual crazy man, this game would not be remembered very well, and like it just wouldn't be as it wouldn't be as fun.
Tracking
Or your third. That's just something I really enjoyed about it. It's like, well, there we go. We'll talk about the other side of that then. Because everything, obviously, the most enduring legacy of it is like it's a game on the political spectrum. It truly goes after everybody. What is it? Conservatives, liberals, communists, fascism, all that sort of stuff. It's a very European game too, because it uses a more European look at those type of political ideas, rather than just like a Western one would. Well, not Western, but like an American take on it. Like very European in it. Which I can certainly appreciate. It makes it it makes it a very good look at post-war Europe, because that's where what takes place in the fictional country of like the Revachol is the city, but the I forget what the country is called. But either way, it's just like it's that specific look at it. It makes it very intriguing to do so, because not only that, because like every character in that game represents like a political idea, is an absolute caricature of it. I don't think that's what people get for the most part. It's like whenever you see like a political cartoon about like all the fat cats in Washington, they took our jobs, those sort of things like that. They're supposed to be a joke, but you can also take these joke characters seriously, because they're like effectively the cliff notes of what these what these political ideas believe in. Some of them are dumb. Most of them are, but it's like it's a nice fun way to look at them. I really like it a lot. I would wholeheartedly recommend the game to anyone if you're just really in the mood to sit there and just like listen to a story be read to you. Because I think I've got like 27 hours into it, and it's like the original version of the game itself is what is it called? Like there's two versions of the game itself. When it originally released, it was only
heads up.
like when the game released in the first place, it was only text. There were no voices, so you had to read everything, and it was truly like a visual novel in that sense. Go home. Like it was truly a visual novel in that sense, and it's like. And it really reads like a crime drama. It just feels that way. It's a good feeling that in that capacity too. I liked it a lot. I like it because of that. But I digress. I just really enjoyed Disco Elysium a lot. I'm probably gonna end up like after this. I'm probably gonna either like I'm gonna go play Kingdom Hearts 2, or I'm gonna go play Disco Elysium. I'm closer to the end in Disco Elysium, so I just might finish that. But there's also like Kingdom Hearts 2. Let's do Scrapyard. It's fun. Kingdom Hearts 2 is a game that I've played a lot, or at least enough to get knowledgeable at the game to know how to play it efficiently. So it's hold on. The Kingdom Hearts 2 is a game I know enough to get efficient at, and I know how to make it move more consistently, which makes me feel good about that, because I would like to, as a game I would like to stream, because it's so very it's very timeless in the sense that it's like, you know,
Ready to fly.
that game, I think when it first came out, it's like it's very whimsical. It really speaks to like I don't think what is it? There are games like I remember renting movies from the library, and like certain Disney movies and watching them from the library. However, I was not exactly like I'm no Disney super fan or anything like that. They're cool titles. Like they're fun movies and everything, but it doesn't just make me go like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make that my whole personality. But I only really started like like when you're younger, it's like, and you don't watch the Disney sort of things, and then you go play Kingdom Hearts. Like the first half of each of those games is the Disney worlds, and the second half is like the Final Fantasy style worlds. When you're younger and you don't watch you don't watch a lot of Disney stuff, you just say like, oh yeah, it's like I love the latter half of the game, but the first half is such a slog to go through. When in reality, it's just like they're two halves of the same coin. You need both of them, because the whimsical side of the Disney enemies and the heartless are very much more cartoony, and they're very they'd be something more like a Disney like a creature you'd see in like a Disney film because of the way they look. They're all really goofy looking and everything like that. And then you go to like the second half of the game where you start dealing with Organization 13 and everything like that. They have, and all the characters like the Dust, the Dragoons, the little shark guys, and the all that sort of stuff. They all have like that clean machined look, like they're just specialty killing machines and everything like that. Those well, let's go auto start. I gotta slow the game down. What I want to do here, let's try. No, I don't want to do that. And when you finally get up to that point, it's just like, all right, there you go. That's the whole game for you. It's like finally growing up. It's like when I finally sit there and say to myself, yeah, that was great. I like that a lot. I wish there were more things you could do with that. Oh, yeah, where is it? Okay, because I want to do the helicopter. I want Pursuit and IFR. We're not there yet. Faster shove. I think you could do that one. It's fine. But we'll talk more about Kingdom Hearts. I want to talk more about Kingdom Hearts. It's my favorite thing in the world. We don't have enough for that yet. I need to wait for... Where was I going with that? Oh yes, it's good old Kingdom Hearts is just when you grow up, you finally appreciate both sides of the same coin, and it feels really nice to do so. It really and then it's like you get to look even closer at the game itself, and realize just how much care and detail they put inside of it. Like you really feel it. It's nice. You can tell the people at Square Enix care a lot about the Disney side of the property. They take good care of it. They really care about how it looks, how it's portrayed, and it's a good job. So if we get any Smash Bros, who would you want to be in the game? I don't know. Because honestly, it's like I haven't touched Smash and... Oh, I can't remember, honestly. I think the only time I really ever cared about Smash was when K. Rool got in the game. But that's about it. Like, honestly, I can't think of anybody, because I mostly don't care enough for it. But if I had to guess, though, maybe we could get someone like, I don't know, like an out of left field. No, they already got Mega Man. Something. Man, I ain't got nothing. Maybe we could just put something like, I'm at a loss for words for that one. I really honestly don't know what to say. Maybe we could get Gene from God Hand in there. That'd be something fun. He be just, since they already have fighting game we don't have camo detection. Guess what level he's at? 6. Sheesh. Come on. There we go. But what I wanted to really get down to it with Kingdom Hearts is that Kingdom Hearts has a game mode called, with Final Mix, they added a mode called Critical inside of there. Critical is the highest difficulty setting they have in the game. It adds in several features like, it adds several features into the game like good old, you do more damage, you also take double damage, enemies have more health, no, they have the same health, but things get a lot harder. Life is harder in general inside that game. I think there's also an EXP penalty too. But either way, it's critical is already very hard. Then they also have the other modifier you can add to yourself with no EXP. No EXP is a really rough challenge for the most part, especially early on, because I mean that's what I'm doing right now. Like I'm playing Disco and I'm also doing level 1 critical for KH2, and it's got me ripping my hair out. It's really tough because I know it's like after a certain point in the early game when you finally get like Chicken Little, you finally get your drive forms and everything like that. But you are forced to interact with the game in a much more direct setting. Like you have got to use your summons, you've got to use limits. You've got to learn how to play the game as efficiently as possible and use everything in your power to make sure that you can actually survive the fight. Because it's not so much, it's like, because when you're at level 1, you don't get, you'll get only like the most minimal of HP boosts, like from beating bosses and stuff like that. It's like, at that point, it's like everything is like a one-hit kill, so armor almost never matters. It does make a bit of a difference, but it's like that's only like probably from like the early to the mid game. When you're finally on like the halfway point of the game, when you do 1000 Heartless, and everything is just going to do like assloads of damage to you, and you die in like one combo, it's like, that's it. It's like you either learn how to get good at the game, or you are just like, you're done. Get Apache dart ship. I want to put you down there. I probably shouldn't have done that, but oh well. So for your Smash choices there, Raptor, would probably be like what? Digimon versus Pokemon, Shantae, Waluigi, Zero from Mega Man X, and Monster Hunter. What armor would they pick for the Monster Hunter series to make them the representative? Would they pick the Kirin armor? Would they pick the funny Lygia Cruz armor? Teostra? Diablos? The only Monster Hunter I've ever sat down and played was, I played a lot of 4U. That was really fun. I liked it a lot. And then every time I try to go play like any of the other titles, I don't want to do that anymore. I've gotten my fill. I don't know if I'm ready to play effectively offline MMO again. It's just something that makes it's like it's cool like the first time around for me, but it's like I don't want to come back to that. It's just too much. But as I progress more through Kingdom Hearts 2, obviously life gets easier because you get access to more parts of your combo, better things to use, and everything like that. And I'm making pretty steady progress now because I'm out of the doldrums. I can finally have all the gear that I expect myself to have, like Chicken Little's magnet, upgraded, like stronger elements for all of my stuff. Money is easier to come by, so we can buy potions. And the same thing with crafting materials too. It's a very like that first initial like probably I think about 6 hours into the game. So I'd say the last like first 4.5 hours I played the game. It's like it's a rough start. But I certainly do appreciate the challenge. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and it's like and then I finally say to myself, like, you know what, I'll finally do it. I'll finally put myself to it and learn how to properly play the game, so I can actually do it for once. Good, we're making BRFs, baby. These bad boys pay for themselves. It's great. Because also for the most part, Kingdom Hearts 2 is the only one I've actually sat down and played. I've actually like, I'm Mr. Professional Double Dip, and I have bought both the one and 2 collection for PlayStation 4, and I also now have it on PC. And I remember I played KH1 Final Mix on my PS4, and that's also the first time and the last time I ever sat down and played it. I don't like 1. I don't like 1 very much because it's like everything feels very clunky and slow, because 2 just like refines the combat and it makes it actually really enjoyable to play. This is obviously why people get you like Kingdom Hearts boomers who are like, oh dude, I want it to be like Kingdom Hearts 2 all over again. It's like, well, there's also things that each one of the titles after 2 brings something different to the table. And then finally it culminates in 3, where it gets like really, really good. Like it's the peak of the combat, and it's also like some of the hardest. But even more with Kingdom Hearts is that that's perfect then. So earlier I was talking about how Devil May Cry is like, you need to be very good at the game in the first place to get like any sort of recognition for it, because people hold the Devil May Cry series honestly way too high, too hard of a standard, because it's like they did it right once when they were kids. They got the validation from like their peers to whether or not like, oh dude, yeah, you're great at the game. It's like that sort of thing. When that happens, it's it creates it creates that feedback loop, and they're like, oh yeah, that's great. It's like, oh, I can like, you get it, this game's hard too. It's like, yeah, we both have persevered in some sort of way, which is good. You can have hard games, they exist. I like that sort of thing. Though the problem is, it's where it's like, oh dude, it's like it doesn't stay contained within itself, which is probably what I think fans of like other difficult game series have learned over time, is like, you don't need to be like Devil May Cry. You have your core audience and everything like that. because like that sort of idea starts spilling out into everything else, because they no longer have made the game just a game. They've made it part of their personality, and that's where like the biggest problem comes in. It really, really sucks, because those people start coming out of the woodwork when anything like any sort of mechanical depth comes out, and like any sort of like mechanical depth comes out of there, and it's like they want it to be like, they just want it to be Devil May Cry when they should just really be playing Devil May Cry again, so they can actually get that much better. It's not appreciating it for what it is. It's trying to make it so it's like something else entirely, well, stripping it of its identity. So then it's like, because I remember there's a mod for Kingdom Hearts 2. It's called Nobody May Cry. It's a good mod. It really is. It's a fun mod that makes it, it takes out some of the caveats of Kingdom Hearts 2's system and makes it play more like Devil May Cry, which is cool. It's a fun idea to say the least. I like that. However, it's like, I honestly, if you can appreciate it for what it does, but I would much rather have Kingdom Hearts system maintained, because it keeps its own identity. I don't need it to be Kingdom Hearts. I don't need it to be Devil May Cry. I don't want it to be. But Kingdom Hearts does something better that I really appreciate it for. That people typically miss is that, like, when you go look at a Platinum or Clover title or anything like Capcom made in like the last 30 years, or like from the late 90s to early 2000s, when they were making those games, they have the skill floor for them is higher than what most players would do, and it sort of like hurts sales. But then they get the mystique behind them that gives them the ability to talk about like, oh dude, this game is so cool, and you finally get past it, and you like get past like this moment and you learn about how it works. Effectively the casual check situation like Cerberus and Devil May Cry 3. Like it's a hard mission, that's to say the least. When you finally reach that point, and it's like, it gets that air of mystique about it, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like, you couldn't beat this, oh you ain't no hardcore gamer, you ain't no pro. That's the sort of idea that also what put Dark Souls on the map. I typically would rather like it when a series does something like, okay, we're going to what is it? When a series says like, we're gonna make the skill floor low, but we're gonna have a better curve across the entire game. Base game, like Kingdom Hearts Final Mix has like, I think, normal mode. Normal mode, you do not have to interact with the game in like any capacity. You don't have to learn how to guard. You can spam spells and you can still beat the game. That is honestly what normal mode should be in many other games. That's like, it's a good way to do it. You have a nice curve. You'll still die a couple of times if you're not like totally paying attention. And it actually makes like, you know, you can experience the narrative situation, you can still have fun playing the game, and you can feel satisfied you made it through a decent challenge. And then you give other difficulty modes that unlock it from the start, or something like that, like Proud Mode. Proud Mode is effectively that. Proud Mode is where you do have to engage with the mechanics, because enemies do more damage and I think have more health. So you have to learn how the game works at that point. That's just it. And then Critical is the same thing. Like, Critical expects you to already know how to play the game in the first place and be pretty good at it, and at least understand how the game works. So it takes that knowledge base up from you that you're supposed to have, and it climbs from there. That's sort of like tiered. That's sort of like a step-by-step basis on how how things like this are supposed to grow. It really makes a pretty big difference in terms of like being approachable to players, and also making it so it's not like an actual like a impossible situation for them. When you start off, like, the Dark Souls inherently, like when they start off like in the Soul series, they are inherently hard because they ask a lot of you as the player to learn how these things work and be more patient, which is very, very important. That's something you can actually, that's knowledge you can take into other games as well. Like you can do a little dance, be patient about what's coming against you, and then you don't have to be something like, you know, get absolutely like reamed when something happens. Because that's the thing about Dark Souls. It's like it's the you fight, you learn a little bit more, you hopefully learn a little bit more, and you make more and more progress to beating the boss itself, which is it's great. It's a very simple formula. But then it's like then you get later on, it's where it's like the curve is in terms of like understanding, like time put in across gameplay. Like the curve is steeper than it would say something like in Dark Souls compared to like Elden Ring. Elden Ring, you start off with like, it's honest to God like the easiest of the Souls games, mostly because of the fact that they have like, you have every tool at your disposal from the very beginning. You don't really feel weak. Like the entire world exists just specifically to like make sure that you're able to like totally ream everything after a certain point. You can summon all the time. You're constantly strong. You do not have to worry about anything. 125, that's great. That's 40,000 more. Like the leveling curve for it is just like, it feels more like, what is it? It's like, yeah, it's like, Elden Ring is more like Kingdom Hearts in the aspect it's like you can still bum around from like the beginning of the game and like just to get the regular ending of the story, and then just like use all your resources there, and it's like you'll still just bum around and you will beat the game. You can be as terrible as you want and you can still accomplish what you need to do. Dark Souls is effectively like the modern Devil May Cry in this sort of sense, with the whole fact of like, okay, now we have well, also right now I'm trying to think of like 95 pushed me back, so I need to make sure it's like I can obviously still make it, because the getting around the bend is very, very bad. But Dark Souls is like the Prepare to Die edition is like it's like they lean in there because it's a hard game. It's not Dark Souls is not actually that hard. It's hard because it's like it has the same air of mystique that Devil May Cry does, because they still have the thing about like, oh dude, it's so hard. It's like, you couldn't do that. You must be a professional casual or something, which is no way to go about those type of games. It diminishes the player base and makes them feel bad. I'm sure is why people. I'm like, oh, is this game gonna crash? No. The Spectre. That sort of mysticism behind Dark Souls and how it's like becomes a part of a person's personality, and it makes it like they make it about them more than about like just playing a game in the first place, which is typically it's like what people get too into most of the time. It's like you're not playing the game anymore. You're just making it like the fans make it something bigger than it actually is, and it's like then when you have a global franchise like the Souls series, and then it's like, oh, it's gonna be hard. It's like, okay, well now it's become not just like a niche title. It's become much more public in every capacity. It's become a very public sort of thing. So people are now wondering like, oh, dude, I want to play that too. I gotta get in on this thing. And it's like, it's the same thing that happened to Devil May Cry 5. They made it a very accessible title while also still maintaining its difficulty. But it's a level of accessibility inside that has changed, because it's no longer just the small thing. And it's like it's about the maintaining the image that both of them have. they maintain the image of like it is difficult, but it's also like it's also easy enough to where like people can actually accomplish it with a minimal effort. Like this. Like Bloons is the perfect example of that. We obviously have double cash, a means of which people give it to you or give you the money to go get it, and it's like you can beat the game on whatever mode you want to do. You can get all your powered ups or setups, and you can do everything you want. It makes it very easy. But other than that, that's what it sort of ends up being like. For the most part, I've done enough today. I just wanted to stream some Bloons and have some fun with that, get some thoughts off of my chest. For the most part, though, thank you very much, everybody, for stopping by. That's enough out of me for today. Don't forget to like, comment, rate, favorite, and subscribe. We'll go see you next time in regards to Foxy Grandma and her setup. And as always, I'll see you next time, everybody. Have a good night.